Hello everyone, Christina Marie here. Hi, hello, nice to see you again. And yes, I am in better spirits for the most part. Life is still hard out here in these streets, but when I feel a little bit of joy, I'm gonna hold on to that for as long as I possibly can. So that's what I'm doing. I had a couple of videos planned, but I'm not in the right headspace for that right now because it's going to take me out of my happy place. And so we're going to postpone those videos until a later date. And so today I thought I would do something a little lighter. I'm going to do a tag video, which I don't do that often, so this should be fun. I'm going to do the Booktube Oldie tag, which was created by my lovely friend Monica, and there are 7 questions. Yeah, so I don't even know what the questions are. I know what the first one is, but I really didn't look ahead, so if I'm shocked by something, you know why. So yeah, let's get started. Question number 1. How long have you been a part of the Booktube community? When I first started on YouTube, I was not into Booktube. Booktube wasn't much of a thing at that point. I was more into makeup, so I filmed a few makeup videos, stuff like that. But then I discovered that I'm not a fan of makeup videos or filming makeup videos. So I believe that I started Booktube, or I found Booktube in like maybe 2012. Maybe 2012, 2013, whatever year The Fault in Our Stars came out. I can easily just look that up. Yeah, that was the year, because The Fault in Our Stars was the book that got me into filming book stuff. So yeah, wow, 8 years. 8 years. Cool. Alright, question number 2. What was your biggest misconception before starting Booktube? I don't necessarily think I had any misconceptions because I'm very good at being realistic with myself, but also keeping myself detached from the things that I don't want to be a part of. I'm very selective with where my energy goes and with where my time and my focus goes. So I didn't really allow myself to have misconceptions about Booktube. The one thing that I will say that was spot on is that drama, you know, all kinds of controversial yada yadas and stuff like that. Things that at 33 years old, I really don't have the time for. So probably, 8 years ago when I started, maybe even 5 years ago, I would have given my energy to stuff like that, but I just don't anymore. I'm definitely one of those conserve the energy and then speak when you want to. So I don't necessarily feel like I have to contribute to everything now, and so I don't. But yeah, I would say that I really didn't have misconceptions about Booktube when I first started. How do you think Booktube has changed since you first started? Definitely a lot more young faces, a lot more faces of color, a lot more critical thinking, I think. Yeah, the thoughts are a little bit more diverse. The video concepts are a little bit more diverse. People are being a little more risky with their content, which I respect. I don't believe in sugarcoating anything. And so I definitely have mad respect for people who use their platform authentically and without abandon, almost. But I will definitely say that being one of the oldies in just actual age and just how long I've been a part of this community, I think it's going in the correct direction. I do think it's almost like the older booktubers are passing the torch, you should say, or have stepped back a little bit in terms of being more of mentors to younger / newer members to the community. And I think that that's vital, one, to have checks and balances on the health of the community, but also it builds conversation, it holds accountability, it just allows us to be our best selves when we have the diversity in different dynamics, from age to race to ethnicity to content, everything. So I would say we're definitely a little bit more versatile now than we were, I'd say about, what, 8-10 years ago. What's your favorite Booktube memory? I have quite a few. The memory that first came to mind was when I met Maureen and Jessie. Those two are some of my dearest friends, and they've been a part of me navigating this whole Booktube journey, and just the friendships with them has allowed me to be a little less rigid in building community. Like I said, I conserve my energy quite a bit, but I will definitely say I would not be the person that I am right now within this community without having met those two. So that's probably my favorite and my best memory so far. What are some books that you were introduced to because of Booktube? Most of them I would never ever read again. Or I haven't read. It's so funny. I wouldn't read The Fault in Our Stars now. But, you know, that was a thing. The Shatter Me series. Wouldn't read it now. But that was a thing. Anything Sarah J. Maas. Definitely wouldn't read it now. But that was a thing. Obviously, I was a fan of Cassandra Clare before all of this happened. But Booktube is what got me to read the Infernal Devices series or trilogy. So yeah, there's all kinds of books. Most of them are young adult books, but I'm not really in love with that genre right now. So I can't even really say what books are out right now in terms of young adult. Because I've just really been focused on a lot of nonfiction lately. That's just where my head and my heart and my spirit lies right now. So now I'm being introduced to different nonfiction reads. What is something that frustrates you about Booktube? That could be a video all in itself. But what I will say, there is a difference between being a nice person and being a kind person, being a authentic person and being a disingenuous person, performing versus being yourself. And I feel like my least favorite thing about this community, it gets very cliquey in terms of, and it's not even clicky in terms of, oh, these are my friends or these are my friends. It's very cliquey in terms of drama. Some shit just isn't what I'm about. A lot of times you will find me on the sidelines. I do that intentionally. I can't tell you how many times I have cursed this community, not so much recently, but definitely 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago, for being so tone deaf about everything. Having been one of the only few black women within the community, it was hard to be myself without everybody thinking that I was rude or mean or domineering or whatever. No, this is just what I am. You know, this is who I am. I'm just someone who just says what they say. I don't really like to sit and give you fluff. You know, I'm just not that person. I internally roll my eyes, and sometimes that comes out and you'll see it happen. I don't really care. But the thing is, for me, I just feel like there needed to be a balance of the light and fluffy, but then the critical thinking side of Booktube. And it just wasn't happening. And sometimes, even though it happens now, there's a little bit more of a balance. I feel like Booktube is constantly in squirrel mode. And, you know, we'll be talking about this, and then squirrel, something else is happening. So now we're talking about that, and then it's squirrel, and then something else happening, and we're going over here, never even finishing or focusing on solving the issues that came with the very first thing that we started with. So I just feel like there's a lot of moving pieces. I feel like sometimes people feel like they're competing against each other when no, I definitely don't think that's the case. I feel like people need to spend time learning who they are within this community and letting that be the thing that they lead with. Like for me, I'm not flashy in terms of filming and equipment and all of that. I'm just not that person. I'm really focused on social justice and authentic expression, community building, just making the most of your experiences when they come along. I don't believe in wasting time. I don't believe in wasting energy. I don't believe in being nice just because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. I think that is actually really, really mean. Kindness for me is helping someone be their best self, not necessarily helping someone not feel bad about being a bad person, you know, or being, you know, making a mistake or trying to protect them in their little bubble. Like, that's not me. That's never been me. If you ask me a question, you're gonna get an answer. You may like it, you may not. I just feel like we need a lot more candor, a lot more authenticity, a lot more kindness versus niceness. That polite niceness grinds my fucking gears. Like, I can't stand it, and I'll immediately just be done with you. Jesse just texted me right now. He says, I hope you're getting the chance to rest this weekend after your test week. Take all the naps. I love you. Mwah. Thanks, Jesse. Yeah, so I just don't believe in not being authentic and not being your true self. Like, self-awareness is another thing that I think the community lacks sometimes. But again, this could be a whole video. Let's get to the last question. If you want me to talk more about this, just comment down below, let me know, because I absolutely will. You know, when I have opinions, I don't mind sharing them. Okay, last question. What is your hope for the future of Booktube? Okay, shameless plug. Last year, I had the tremendous honor of curating a panel at BookCon called The Future of the Online Book Community. That entire experience is my dream for this community in a nutshell, in a 30-minute video. I actually had someone film the panel, so if you haven't seen it, I'll link it down below. I don't get emotional all the time. Like, crying on camera is not really my thing. I'm just not that person. But that day was so special in a sense that everyone was there for each other. And this is not even just Booktube. It's the entire community of Bookstagram and book bloggers and all of that. We just all came together and just celebrated our love of books. And we had hard conversations, and we asked hard questions, or I asked hard questions. And it just sparked a lot of conversation. My dream, or my hope for the future of this community, is that it is a second home for your soul. And what I mean by that is, this is the place where you come to feel loved, to feel cared for, to be inspired, to be held accountable, to be given permission to be your best self. All of that while living and demonstrating your love of the written word. I don't know what that looks like for each individual person, but I know what that looks like for me. I've spent the past year almost defining that and being secure in that. I think people are afraid to really, really know who they are and to really be okay with demonstrating that. And I'm not talking about whether you're gay or straight or bisexual or pansexual or transgender or, you know, anything like that. Even though, yes, those are absolutely important characteristics of who you are. I feel like, though, a lot of times those labels can become the mask for yourself. And I feel like people are afraid to express themselves through things that truly bring them the most joy, that gets them the most excited. And a lot of times when we find things like that, we want to protect them and we want to keep them close because we don't want anybody to ruin them. But that's not how life is. I really hope this community gets over its fear of being its truest self. I hope this community gets out of its own way, because that tends to be what happens a lot of the time. There are just so many things that I wish for this community. I want so much. I really, really do. And while I can't make it happen for this entire community, what I can do is be my truest and my most authentic self and lead by example, because leading by example gives other people permission to do exactly that. And I think that's really important, especially right now, especially with how, you know, tense everything is in the community, especially how people are being persecuted and ridiculed and discriminated against and hated on and, you know, hurt and just assaulted, murdered. There's just a lot happening in this world. And I feel like because life is so precious, you have a right and you have a duty and obligation to yourself to be your best self, but also to the community that you inhabit. And so that got real deep real quick, but that's where my heart and my spirit is. That is what brings me joy. That's what, you know, where my truest self rests, is in doing things like that. And so I hope that for this community so much. I really, really do. Because all of these things, the bells and whistles of Booktube, you know, the lights and the fancy backgrounds and, you know, the cool equipment and all of that is so material, you know, and it can be gone like that. I just really want us to appreciate and invest in the essence of the community. Because when all is said and done, if all of this burned to the ground, that's all we would have left. That's all we would have left is us. And I just think that we need to spend time putting, you know, effort and energy and focus into the essence of the community, into the meat, you know, of the community. Again, getting real deep. This is the last question. Yes, it is. But yeah, again, if you want me to talk more about that, let me know down in the comments. I have a lot of things going on up here, guys. A lot. And I've been gone for nearly a year. So you can imagine what's swirling around up in this brain. But yeah, that was actually really fun. Monica, those were good questions. Yeah, that's the end of the tag. I think I'm supposed to do something else. Oh no, I don't tag people in things. So if you want to do this, you go for it and you do it. But yeah, that was actually a lot of fun. This is a good way for me to slowly introduce myself to this whole deal again. 'Cause for a while it was touch and go, you know, whether or not I was going to come back. So I'm glad to be back. I'm glad that you guys haven't left me. I am insanely shocked that I'm almost at 12,000 subscribers. What the fuck? Like, I was at 9,000 like a week or two ago. But yeah, so I'm gonna get out of here because now I'm just rambling. I adore this community. I care so deeply for each and every person involved in it, even the people that fuck up, like a lot, because those people need permission to fuck up so that they can get it right. I will say, don't reach out to me for help with that right now, unless you want me to really hurt your feelings, because right now I just don't care. Well, like, you know, I care, but I don't care enough to be gentle with you. But I just want everybody to just love yourself, take care. Again, it's hard out here in these streets right now. So when, you know, our tangible world and our outside world and even our home life gets completely fucked, we still have this community that will protect us emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you know. And I think that we need to treat this community as the treasure that it is, because it is that important to love it as it loves on us. This community has a heartbeat of its own and it loves us, so we should be returning the favor and investing nothing but our truest selves into it. So that's my word for this video. I don't know when I'm going to be filming next, but thank you so much for watching. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but y'all know I film long videos. This is not new to y'all, unless you are new to my channel. If that's the case, hey y'all. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks so much for watching, and you know, just take care.